Hello, everybody. I want to take a moment just to talk to you about what's happening in the courts with tenant possession. But before I do, let me ask you a question. Would you give your tenant £20,000? Just give your tenant £20,000 for no reason whatsoever. Let me come back to that. This time last week, I found myself at Chelmsford's County Court on behalf of one of our landlords, Stephen, attending a possession claim. Now, this possession claim was issued as early as it possibly could, as soon as the tenant fell into 2 months' arrears. Yet we found ourselves in court 7 months later after we issued the actual paperwork. So a total of 9 months. And in those 9 months, that tenant had not paid any rent whatsoever. So the situation is that when we're at court, we now have to, whilst we got possession order, we know for a fact that that tenant is not going to leave. So we would then have to go back in 2 weeks' time and ask for a bailiff to evict the tenant. And at the moment, the bailiffs are taking anywhere between 2 and 3 months. So we'll find ourselves in a situation where that tenant's been in situ for an entire year, and in that entire year, they wouldn't have paid any rent. Now, the question I want to ask you is, going back to earlier, would you give your tenant that rent? Well, this particular landlord had a rent guarantee with us. So it's a Boydens rent and legal warranty. You can get them with various providers. And what I wanted to do is just speak to people. Why would you not protect your greatest asset? The courts have recently advised, only tail end of last week, that court fees are going to go up 10%. Not only are the court fees going up 10%, but the bailiff fees are going up 10% as well. Now, the governments are desperately trying to digitise the court process. However, we find ourselves in a situation now where it's taken longer than ever for us to even get in front of a judge. It's taken us longer than ever to try and get a bailiff appointment. And in the absence of a rent guarantee, landlords don't have that rent coming in for their greatest asset. Not only that, they still have expenditure. They still have to adhere to the terms of business, the terms and conditions of the tenancy agreement. They still have to carry out maintenance, because whilst it may be grossly unfair, if they don't carry out that maintenance, the chances are they won't get a possession order. If they breach Section 11, if they don't repair a boiler, they won't get the possession order. If they don't carry out the gas safety certificate, they won't get a possession order. If they don't carry out the EPC, they won't get the possession order. So it's very much against the landlords. And as I say, I just wanted to take a moment to talk about what a rent guarantee is. So those of you who don't know, a rent guarantee, it's an insurance-based product. We provide it at Boydens. We've been providing it for a very long time now. And the way that it works is that you pay a monthly premium. And that monthly premium will protect you for your rental income, and also indemnify you, not just against court fees, but also solicitors' fees, solicitors who are appointed to represent you at court, along with us, to secure your possession. The way that it works is that if the tenant were to fall into arrears, and what we're finding now is tenants don't fall into arrears because they don't want to pay rent. They're falling into arrears because they can't pay rent. And that could be for a number of different reasons. That could be for ill health. It could be job security. It could be death. It could be a number of different things. But either way, the tenants are falling into arrears. So what happens is that the rent guarantee will kick in at month 2 of the rent arrears. Credit control takes place in the background. We issue the necessary forms as soon as they need to be issued. A solicitor gets appointed. This is all carried out on your behalf. And what will happen is the rent guarantee will pay you the rent until such time that we get possession of the property. So from a landlord's perspective, it doesn't really affect them in terms of financial income, because that financial income is still coming in as if the tenant were paying the rent. And then in the background, obviously us and the solicitor, or if you have an alternative provider, the solicitor will be securing possession of the rent on your behalf. So as I say, it's, when you look at costs, I mean, I can only talk about costs for the rent guarantee that Boydens provide, and often using the analogy, it actually costs our landlords less than a cup of coffee a day to protect probably their biggest asset. So less than a cup of coffee a day protects you against up to potentially a year's worth of rent, and again, potentially anywhere between £3,000 and £4,000, possibly £5,000 worth of court and legal costs. So simply, if you don't have a rent guarantee, I would strongly suggest looking at securing one. You're more than welcome to give me a call and we can have a conversation about it. As I say, there are a number of different providers. We provide a very good one, but get yourselves protected. You need to protect your biggest asset. And the court system is broken. It's not going to be repaired anytime soon. The Renters Reform Bill is going to be coming in possibly in October. They're trying to digitise it. It's going to create merry hell. Get yourself protected.